In today's video, we're talking about the EURUSD as it surges into a critical resistance area, and I'll also have the latest on the DXY as it battles with a key support region that we talked about over the weekend. So starting here with the EURUSD, guys, I don't want to waste any time. Let's go ahead and jump right into the charts. And you can see where the EURUSD so far this week. Okay, now keep in mind, it's only Monday. We just started the trading week, and so far the market is picking up right where it left off last week with a move into this resistance area. So if you saw the weekly forecast, you know about this imbalance back here, okay, from the very start of 2024. So notice here on this candle, this red candle, we got the next candle opening and a very shallow retracement into the body of this candle up here. So this right here is an imbalance in the market. And so that's what we're seeing the EURUSD fill in today. And this is what we talked about over the weekend. So the likely scenario for the euro early this week, as I mentioned over the weekend, was for the market to come up here and take out last week's high. Okay, so last week's high is here. This up here, this red box, is our imbalance. It's also the top of this channel here that goes back to July. Okay, so this channel, you can see we have two touches down here. Okay, so two lows down here. Then we've got all these highs, including last week's high and so far today. Now, the key here for the euro is going to be, where does the market close today, okay, and every day this week, right? Because if it's below this area up here, then there is no buy here. You don't want to chase this into resistance. That is the first thing I want to mention here, is that a lot of traders get FOMO here and they think, okay, this is just going to continue higher. And that's exactly what the market makers want you to believe. They want you to believe that this market is just going to continue to go up so that traders are going to buy, right? And the reason for that is, like I mentioned over the weekend, typically you do get fake outs from areas like this and areas like this up here too. Okay, right around 110.60 represent areas where market makers like to fill orders. Okay, they like to fill sell orders. So I'm not saying that that will happen here, but this is an area for the euro where you really have to be careful. And again, you do not want to have FOMO here, okay, fear of missing out with a market like this that is just on a runaway, especially with a market that is rallying between Friday and Monday, because again, these are typically very low volume days, especially Friday, okay? Not necessarily Monday, but Friday especially is very low volume. So you've got to be careful with moves like this. And typically, guys, I always say this, but the two worst days to trade during the week are going to be Friday and Monday. Really, Tuesday through Thursday is the sweet spot. So we have a breakout here on Friday and a continuation on Monday. So we'll see how this plays out. But I don't like, the idea of buying the market into resistance like this. You always want to buy low and sell high, right? Self-explanatory, but it's amazing how many traders lose sight of that. Now, let's take a look here at the bearish scenario, because this is a case too where I don't like the idea of buying the euro, but I can't justify shorting this market while it's above this area here, okay? So I don't like buying into resistance up here, but I also don't want to short into support like 110. So the bearish scenario here for the EURUSD, as mentioned over the weekend, okay, would be something like this. If we look at the 4-hour time frame, you can see where we have this trend line down here as well. Okay, so maybe a sweep up here, a further sweep this week into this area. And then if we get a pullback, okay, I'll be looking for something like this. Okay, this through here would be the trigger, so to speak, for a short opportunity if it does materialize. A sustained break back below 110. That would be very interesting for a move back down here toward levels like 109.50 and potentially 109. Okay, so this right here would be my trigger for the short. And if this is going to turn into a long, okay, if we do get a sustained break higher from the EURUSD, because keep in mind, I'm not saying that we can't get a break higher from the euro. I'm just saying I don't like the idea of buying the market right now with it at resistance. So if we do get a bullish continuation here for the euro, what it's going to take is the market essentially getting above this area right up here. Okay, so if we map this out, what you can see here is this down here would be the bearish scenario. Okay, if we got something like this, a sustained break below 110. All right, so bearish scenario down here. And the bullish scenario would be, of course, the opposite of that if we got the market basing above here this week. Now, it would take at least one daily close above, preferably two, but something like this could target the area around 111.40, okay? So I'm not saying that the market can't break out higher here. I'm not saying that I'm bearish on the market right now. This is kind of that gray area where, in most cases, the best thing to do is nothing and just wait for the market to show its hand. That's especially true when you're talking about a Monday rally like this. Now, let's take a look at the DXY quickly here because this is also going to matter. Now, this is what we talked about over the weekend as well. If you look at the, let's say, 3-day time frame, you can see that this right here is the channel that we've talked about at length here for weeks. And this is a critical moment for the US dollar index because this area right around 102.2 all the way down toward about 101.9, this is a critical area for the DXY. And this is a critical moment for the dollar as well, just because if we do see a sustained break below this area, okay, because this moves inversely to the euro, if we were to get a sustained break below 101.9, okay, this area back here, this has been a pivot for the market, also these lows. If we get a sustained break below here, then that, of course, would be bullish for the euro, the pound, and, bearish for pairs like the dollar CAD potentially. But right now, we do have the market just right here in the support region. So again, this is why I don't like the idea of selling the dollar and buying the euro right now, just because even though the DXY is taking out these lows, again, we're dealing with a Monday move, okay? So this right here, Friday move here and Monday move so far today. So I want to see what happens if we get a close below here, okay, into this area, sweeping these lows. I want to see if this turns into a fake out. I want to see if we get a close below here today, and then either on Tuesday or Wednesday, we get a close right back above, because if so, that would be a textbook fake out, and in my wheelhouse as far as what I like to trade. So we're going to have to wait and see how this plays out. Obviously, nobody knows what's going to happen here. Do we get the sustained break below 101.9, or does this turn into a fake out where we get the close below and then the close right back above, right? So basically, what this comes down to is if we see daily closes back above 102.6, then that would be bullish back toward 103.5. And if we get a sustained break below 101.9 and the DXY can't recover back above this area, then that could be bearish toward levels like 100.85. Now, again, this moves inversely to the EURUSD. So you can use this in combination with pairs like the EURUSD and the pound USD to give you a little bit more confidence. Okay, so interesting times ahead for these markets, but hopefully that gives you guys a good idea of what I'm looking for here. But again, I'm neither bearish nor bullish here. Obviously, the market has been rallying, so I have to take that into account. But right now, I want to see what happens around this area. I want to give this time to play out. I want to see what happens between really Tuesday and Wednesdays to see if we get a close above this area, followed by a close back below, or if the market can establish itself above this area to keep this rally going. Subscribe to the channel and click that bell icon for notifications. Also consider heading over to the website and claiming your 90% off lifetime access to VIP. That is going to end soon, so be sure to check that out. See the link in the description of this video, or if you're on the website, click on that join VIP link. Trade well, and I will talk to you again tomorrow.